Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Hey. Your organization is looking stressed. What? And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed.
The wait is over. Super Bowl Sunday is in full effect. It's done. We know who our winner is. Welcome into another edition, another live episode of The Rewind. I am your host, the captain of the ship, Monty Moss. I'll be joined momentarily by two special guests. However, I do want to bring on my co-host. He does not need no introduction, as you know, each and every week. Chicago's own, Chicago's finest, Temple alum, four-time state champion, over 400 career wins in his co-head coaching career. He coached both football and basketball. Football first. Let me get this right. He is also in the Newark Hall of Fame. Let's my man Bryant G. Big Dog Garvin. Bryant, what's good? How you feeling, my brother?
I'm doing all right, man. You know, good to be here another week to talk about this SB game. Ready to rock and roll.
I want to give a sorry, big special apology to America on my parlays. I was 2 out of 3. Of course, it's not enough to get the job done. The bank didn't cash a check. It didn't deposit. Actually, the check got bounced. So I apologize. I know I took everybody. Saquon Barkley, anytime touchdown score. We'll get into that later on in the show. However, I do want to introduce a special person, a special guest that's joining us. He is Brooklyn, New York's own, Long Island City High School in Queens, Mansfield University alum, joined ESPN in 2004. Fast forward to 2017, he was inducted into the Mansfield University Athletic Hall of Fame. Freddie has also hosted NFL on ESPN Radio. He makes appearances from time to time on First Take. You can catch his ESPN radio show, Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas in the afternoon from 3 o'clock Eastern time to 7 o'clock on ESPN Radio, Sirius XM Channel 80. I want to introduce, doesn't need no introduction. He's a legend in my eyes. He's a legend in everybody's eyes. If you're a fan of ESPN Radio as well as ESPN, Mr. Freddie Coleman. Freddie, appreciate you taking the time to join us on the Rewind. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, Monty and Big G. How are you guys doing today on this Wednesday night?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to be here. It's good to see you. And let's rock and roll, man, because I got a lot to do today.
Finished getting off air at 7. Fast forward, here we are again. He's taking the time to come out. I definitely appreciate it, man. All blessings to you and your family. I do want to somebody, I got a special surprise for Bryant. He does not know I'm a man of many things, jack of all trades. He is also a former Eastside High School alum where Bryant coached. He was a part of the first state championship team at Eastside High School along with Randy Foy in the background. It's my man, Abraham, a.k.a. Bacho. This guy's helped watch me grow up. He's best friends with no other Dave McSwain. If you don't know Super Dave, you better Google him because, man, that guy could play. Hey, we got a lot to talk about, including the Super Bowl, but welcome into the Rewind. I appreciate you taking time as well. How are you? Surprise, Coach Garv.
Yeah, surprise.
It's good to see him, man. I was shocked to see him, and you know, I know Mach. He like to run his mouth a lot, so this is a perfect show for him.
Hey, I definitely do. Yeah, hey, you better watch yourself, brother. I'm definitely living the dream, man. I'm living the dream. I'm healthy and I'm vertical, so no complaints, man. But I'm telling you got to run for your money. Coach Garv, it's been a while. Freddie, hey, as my man from Training Day says, so be ready, brother.
Talk about business is certainly about to pick up as we break down the Super Bowl recap 59. We already know the Philadelphia Eagles are your Super Bowl 59 champions. 40-22 was your final. I mean, what can I say? Patrick Mahomes, 21-32, 257 yards, passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Talk about Eagles defense. Sacked the man 6 times, 11.4 QBR. Kareem Hunt, 3 carries, 9 yards rushing. Isaiah Pacheco, nowhere to be found, 3 carries with 7 yards. Xavier Worthy, I did tell you to take him anytime touchdown score. He showed up, 8 receptions for 157 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. Travis Kelce couldn't get anything going in the first half. Third quarter, he was Mr. Irrelevant with 4 receptions, 39. I mean, Gentlemen, when we talk about this game, let's just call it for how we see it. Fun fact for you guys, if you didn't know, the Eagles dropped 95 total points in the last 2 games of the season with the Commanders win at home and the Super Bowl win. 95 points. I'm not sure we've seen that in a pretty long time. Jalen Hurts did his thing, 17 to 22, 220 yards, passed in 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, was sacked twice. Saquon Barkley, Bryant said it last week, he won't rush for over 60 yards. He only had 57 yards carry, 10 longest yards was his total yard. We know previously in the win over the Commanders, he got some big outburst runs for 30, 40 plus yards down the field. Chiefs defense, Steve Spagnuolo, we knew that was a game plan coming in. Contain Saquon, force him to run east and west, or as Brian had to say, west and south, whatever. Devontae Smith, 4 receptions, 69 yards, 1 touchdown. Gentlemen, enough of all the stats. Let's talk about the game in general. Brian, I'll start with you because you know coming into this game, you were big on Kansas City stopping Saquon. He got 57 yards. America was saying that you were wrong. America was saying that Saquon's going to get over 100 yards rushing. I told America anytime touchdown score in the prop bet, I let them down. I apologize. Your thoughts on the Eagles' victory on Sunday?
Never doubt a football coach for over 30 years and understanding defensive coordinating. I knew that their game plan was to stop Saquon and make his life rough the entire game. They did just that. However, they couldn't stop the passing game. They had no answer for it. And it was a disservice for those guys in the defensive backs. They just had poor coverage back there, and they just didn't understand it, didn't know what to do. You understand that you stop Saquon on first down. Basically, it was like second and 11 or 12, or maybe second and 8 or 9 was a throwing. So you got to understand, you got to make some adjustments. You can't just focus on Saquon the whole game. They did that. They lost. They paid for it. The end. It's just what it is. And, hey, I was right. He had, 31 yards at the half?
There you did.
And I said he wouldn't have above 50 at the half. And everybody doubted me. But guess what? If he would have betted on me, you would have won.
Freddie, we know how important this Eagles defense has been this postseason. We've seen it. We've seen the young stars like Cooper DeJong. We've seen what they have done on the defensive side. We know they can get after the quarterback with 4. The Eagles defense sacked Patrick Mahomes 6 times, 2 interceptions. That's something that you can take any day. As I said prior to coming into this game, that the Chiefs haven't seen a defense like this Philadelphia Eagles defense all year. Eagles were number 1 coming into the game, only giving up 17 points a game. That's the best in the NFL. What was your takeaway from this dominance that you've seen from the Eagles defense on Super Bowl Sunday?
Well, they intimidated the Chiefs offense, and all the problems that they have, the left tackle and the right tackle, both of those tackle positions came back to haunt them. But I thought they not only intimidated the Kansas City Chiefs offensively, I thought they intimidated Andy Reid because his play calling, he didn't make any adjustments. We saw in the 2 previous playoff games involving Kansas City that they went to quick passes and got the ball to Patrick Mahomes' hands really, really quickly. They went to those quick hitter plays with the running game as well. I thought when he realized that his offensive line, even when they tried to use a tight end or running back to chimp against the defensive line, they couldn't block those guys. And those 4 guys are winning each and every play on the line of scrimmage. So I thought his play calling got intimidated. And you can clearly tell it affected the rest of the football team because you saw the defensive staff of the Kansas City Chiefs thinking, man, we got to pitch a shutout because our offense is not going to be able to help us. I thought as much as Patrick Mahomes was running for his life in that game because the Eagles front 4 was so good, that made you can cover 7 on the back end. I thought that intimidation factor against Andy Reid allowed him to take him out of his game plan and not make any kind of adjustments. And nobody could have expected that the way the Eagles defense was able to play on Sunday.
Go ahead, Bryant.
I want to just, piggyback on what he said. I think Andy Reid missed one key player that was hurt towards in the middle of the season. That was Rice.
Yeah, Rashee Rice. Yep.
Rashee Rice was a major, major miss in this game. If Rashee Rice is playing today or played this past Sunday, it would have been a different game. They had the game plan differently now. They had to come up with some different things to defend him because now he has 2 weapons. Rice was just unbelievable. I had him on my fantasy football, and my fantasy football tanked when he wound up getting hurt. So at the end of the day, he was definitely a big miss on this Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, Freddie, go ahead.
No. I'm confused because this was a complete blowout. Like this was like it was an onslaught. So you really telling me just because Rashid Rice, you think that Philadelphia would not have won this game? I could bring it back to you, Freddie, and I could bring it back to you, Coach Garth.
Never said that.
You could have had Rice in this game, and it doesn't matter. Do you know what the biggest factor in this? From what I know, I looked at, Philly has not blitzed once. They didn't blitz once. They just said 4-man rushing the whole time.
No, right.
So why would, if you have Rashid Rice, what difference would it have made? Just going back to Coach.
Well, it would have been a big difference because Mahomes wouldn't be forced to throw his turnovers that he did. He threw a pick six. So basically, you only got one good bona fide receiver out there in Worthy, and you have no other outlet. So Kelsey couldn't get open. Kelsey is old. He's pretty much done. So you had no other factors out there in the secondary. Rice, you actually stretch the field. So when you stretch the field out there, now he don't have to scramble as much. He can release the ball at his hand a little faster. So this game, he couldn't do it. He had to depend on Worthy. You double Worthy. Now you got to hold the ball. You got to depend on your legs in order for you to get first downs. That's what you saw. So if you have one more threat, then it changes the game plan on defense. That's pretty much it. Not saying that they would have won the game. Not saying that they would have won the game. Right? It would have been much closer than what it was.
So I'll chime in with this. I agree with Freddie in terms of Andy Reid and offensive play calling because the Chiefs, 60% of their offense ran this year was a lot of RPOs, a lot of quick out of backfield jet sweeps. I didn't see any of that on Sunday. Now, if you flash back 2 years ago to Super Bowl 57, of course, Bucks with Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, the Bucks pretty much had the same game plan that we saw from Philadelphia on Sunday, and that was my front four can get to the quarterback. I can drop 7 back into coverage, force Patrick Mahomes to beat me. Now, obviously, 2 years ago, they had one of the high-powered offense with Tyreek Hill. Of course, they didn't have that secret weapon on offense this Sunday. Xavier Worthy was the only receiver that pretty much showed up. The run game didn't show up at all. Why? Because that Eagles defense was just monster from preventing the run. You didn't let Kareem Hunt get anything. I mean, just combined, both Chiefs running backs were under 20 yards rushing combined. That's not going to win you a Super Bowl last time I checked. So, Freddie, with this Eagles defense that you've seen, yes, they got to the quarterback before. Yes, as Abraham touched on, they didn't blitz him. How impressed are you with this Eagles victory to stop the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes from getting a third straight Super Bowl?
Well, to me, the MVP of the game was Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, because the Kansas City Chiefs did not even cross midfield until the third quarter, where they had 9 possessions in that ball game until they finally were able to cross midfield. You couldn't even have 9 times of the Chiefs doing that in a whole season, and the Eagles able to do that to them in one particular game. And Vic Fangio, by the fact that he's been a defensive coordinator against Kansas City before, but he had the horses. When he was defensive coordinator last year with the Miami Dolphins, he had a lot of things that stymied Kansas City, but he had those 4 guys led by Jalen Carter and Sweat, and those guys that could pressure the quarterback without having any blitzes. And then you got speedy guys at linebacker in the secondary. You're going to close a lot of potential windows that could be open. But if Andy Reid had gone to the running game maybe just a little bit more, just to give them something else to think about, not saying they would have won the game. No one as dominant as they were defensively, it would have taken those guys falling down for the Kansas City Chiefs to win this football game. But I don't think he gave his quarterback and his offense a chance by not being as balanced, because that worked for them against the Buffalo Bills. That worked for them against the Houston Texans. The fact that he was able to get away from that so early, I thought that was a case of panic, and that was because that defense was so good by the Philadelphia Eagles that they didn't have any solutions, no matter what kind of solutions that he was going to try to come up with to try to stymie that.
Yeah, Vic Fangio coming to this game was 0-8 against Patrick Mahomes in his career. This is by far the best defense he's had against Patrick Mahomes, and we saw with that impressive game plan that he put together, the results matter. Now, I'll ask this to you, Freddie, because I know your time is very limited. We know what this Eagles core has been. We know what they've done this year. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, that tough offensive line that we haven't seen in a few years. Yes, the Eagles have a yes, they lost to Patrick Mahomes 2 years ago, but can you see this Philadelphia Eagles team making another Super Bowl a few more times in the years to come?
In the NFL, there's no such thing as a certainty. I don't care what you were able to do the season before, because the NFL is a second-by-second league. Don't think for 1 second the Washington Commanders are going to make adjustments on the defensive side of the football. This way, they don't get the skin beaten off of them like we saw in the second half of that game of the NFC Championship game. If the Green Bay Packers can figure out finding a number one wide receiver, they play pretty good defense. The Minnesota Vikings won 14 games last year, this previous season. The Detroit Lions had the best record in the NFC. So I never allow a result in a Super Bowl to tell me, okay, that's going to happen next year. There are too many teams out there that are going to try to get enough tape on the Philadelphia Eagles and try to take away what they're able to do. That's what the NFL is always going to be about. That's why the letter said not for long. Not because you don't play in the NFL that long, but what was successful one year does not mean that's going to transfer to success the next year. Look at the Kansas City Chiefs. They were bounce bursting in there when Patrick Mahomes first got to be the starting quarterback, and that ball's going up and down the field. Well, then Tyreek Hill, he goes somewhere else. They're able to win 2 Super Bowls without one of the best receivers in the National Football League because they were so good at making adjustments when teams adjusted to them. That's what I want to see from the Philadelphia Eagles, and especially on offense. They lose the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. Now, the thing that Doug Nutzmeyer, the quarterback coach, will take a step up and do that. The last time this happened, it didn't end well for Brian Johnson and the Philadelphia Eagles. So there are no guarantees based on how dominant they look versus Kansas City that this is going to carry over. The NFL is I like to call the NFL an X-rated league. No boys allowed. Women and children, please stay home. They do not play forgiving when it comes to a grown man's game. So just because they did that on Sunday does not mean that this is going to be the start of something special for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bryant, age is starting to creep up for this Kansas City offense, and Travis Kelce's one of them. We know the success that they have as far as the dominance and the run that they have had in the AFC, especially with the multiple AFC championship appearances that they had in the last 5 years. Where do you see this Chiefs team as they head into the offseason with a lot of question marks? Because we know the greatness of Travis Kelce, but how much more does he have left in the tank?
Crutches and wheelchairs. It's pretty much it's that time. You know this doesn't last that long. You know what I mean? You look at myself when I came out, hell, I was in crutches and wheelchairs. You know, by the time I was 20, 21 years old, this type of magnitude of a football game and the bigger physical capacity that comes with it, these guys don't last that long in the league. So now it's almost about movement. The changing, the trades, who's going to get this, money deals, etc. So much movement happened in the NFL. It's unbelievable. And then you got the new players that are coming in from draft picks. It's going to be interesting to see what happens this year in the offseason. I know Kansas City is going to have to reload and redo some things, especially on the offensive end. They're going to need another tight end because he can't do it anymore. We saw that. He's a little slower. And then the Swifties got his head all messed up because they booed him. So at the end of the day, obviously, mentally, he just can't cope. And now you got to find somebody else. So let's see what happens in the offseason and see if these guys can get themselves back on track.
Abraham, where do you think the Chiefs should go as they head into the offseason with obviously some question marks? We know offensively they lost a little bit of that edge that we've seen in a few years, last few years. With what you saw on Super Bowl Sunday, are you worried about the Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm not really worried because you already got Patrick Mahomes. I'm not really worried. What I think they need to do is they need a number one receiver. And I think that number one receiver is not D-Hop. D-Hop is to the tail end of his career. So I'm not convinced that they'll re-sign him after this year. But I think they need something more with a little bit of life. Someone that's like in their 30s. Someone like maybe
like a Debo Samuel? He is available.
He doesn't fit in that.
No. That's what I'm saying. He's not going to. That's what I said. It's a strong no. I don't think a Debo will. I think a route runner, something like maybe an Adam. This guy from Rams. No, from the Rams.
Cooper Kupp. Like Puka Nacua, right?
Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp will probably fit more well within that system. Somebody a route runner. You need a route runner for that can always adjust, and that's why Patrick and Travis was able to adjust. Is like once you run your route, you able to divert from that route, and you can find that little pocket in that zone. So I think a Cooper Kupp will probably be someone. You need a route runner, and I think my personal opinion, I think that would be perfect for him that they can make that trade because I know he's on the block somewhere within that realm. Can they resign D-Hop? Yes, they can, but it'll be worthless. You got your Xavier Worthy, but I mean, he can go out there. But you also need But you also need somebody to back up Travis Kelce, because Travis Kelce, like Coach Garv said, he's on the tail end his run. So I'll say like a Cooper Kupp.
I'll give you a better name, and I like the Cooper Kupp. Abraham, you said that. I'll give you a better name. That's a better route runner and a little bit younger and healthier. That guy's Devontae Adams, because there's no way the New York Jets are going to keep him with Aaron Rodgers not being kept. So if that guy is available on the market, and he is going to be available, if you're the New York Jets, you're going to get a pretty decent haul for him. And now if you're Kansas City, you add him, Xavier Worthy, and along with Rashee Rice. So even if you don't have a Travis Kelce, Adams can take that kind of spot when it comes to route running. And I trust the guy, Brent Veach, the general manager. They always seem to be able to find players. They bring in Kareem Hunt when Isaiah Pacheco, he gets injured. They get Samaje Perine where they have 3 running backs. They're going to find an offensive tackle either in free agency, a guy like Moses, the Jets left tackle. He's going to be available on the market. So they'll find somebody out there. Jedrick Willis of the Cleveland Browns could be a nice component for them. They'll get somebody in the draft. But if you're going to get a route runner, if you can't get a Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, a little bit healthier and a better route runner, relatively speaking, he will fit Kansas City just as much as Cooper Kupp would do for that team, and a lot healthier when it comes to him.
Freddie,
Can I ask you a question? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I know this guy named Monty Moss that Devontae Adams move would not work. I said it. I said it when they made the move, and he sat there and was like, yeah, watch it. It didn't work? No. It didn't work. It didn't work.
He's in my fantasy team. It did.
He's wasting his career with the Jets. Going to Kansas City is a great, fantastic move. Freddie, you're dead on. You're right on point. He's too much of a threat. They have nobody. That whole system need to change. Will he change it? Yeah, it's going to give him time, about 2 or 3 years. But yet he don't have 2 or 3 years to sit there and wait. Make the move and make the move now.
And you're right, Brian. You're right. Hold on. Let me get to Brian. Brian, you're right, because Devontae Adams got traded late into the season with the New York Jets. If you get Devontae Adams a full offseason with the Kansas City Chiefs to learn that offense, to learn the Andy Reid system, God knows what can come from that. And that's why Freddie get paid the big bucks. Abraham, go ahead.
Freddie, I got one question for you. Right now, Devontae Adams 32.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp is 31.
Okay.
Right now, who would you sign at?
Yeah, I would sign Devontae Adams because he's a lot healthier than Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp's had some serious injuries to his legs where he can't create that separation away from defensive backs. He can't be your best wide receiver, and that's going to be the kind of role that Kansas City is looking for, a number 1 wide receiver. Now, if you got Cooper Kupp as a number 2, then he is exactly perfect, because now he can take advantage against strong safeties and linebackers and find those seams and still make those kind of plays. So he would be perfect as a number 2. But if you expect to be a number 1 guy as a lead guy, that day is past Cooper Kupp. And you make a fair point in terms of he's a little older than Devontae Adams. But Devontae Adams has still been a number 1 wide receiver. He kind of moved Garrett Wilson off that spot to keep Aaron Rodgers happy. Puka Nacua became their number 1 wide receiver, mainly because Cooper Kupp suffered those injuries and Puka Nacua came out of nowhere. Nobody thought a 5th-round pick was going to look like that. And that guy's played an all-pro level in his first 2 years, and he's been injured more than a couple of times for the Los Angeles Rams. So your point is definitely valid, Cooper Kupp, but he can't be a number 1 guy if he's going to go to a place like Kansas City, Abraham.
So are you? I'm gonna follow up with your question right now. With your response. So you're saying that. So right now you're saying that you will want a number 1 as Devontae Adams going into Kansas City rather than Cooper Kupp. Because I looked at Cooper Kupp as being a number 2. Because you got Xavier Worthy, and then you also got Travis Kelce. So you would want Devontae, your number 1, or your Cooper, your number 2, where I kind of consider like Xavier Worthy my number 1.
Yeah, and that's completely fair. I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Whether Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice played like a number 1 wide receiver, because he was killing people before he had that injury. So you, even if Cooper Kupp is your number 3 wide receiver, you got a seriously good wide receiver room. If he's your number 3, Xavier Worthy's your number 2, and Rashee Rice is your number 1. You got 3 guys that can threaten at 3 different levels, because Cooper Kupp is sneaky fast and get behind the line of scrimmage and get past the secondary and can top off a defense, because you're so worried about Xavier Worthy doing it as the fastest player in the NFL. And Rashee Rice, he's a Devontae Adams clone, the way he's able to be a great route runner that we saw before he got injured.
So I think we all agree. I think we all agree that Cooper Kupp is the best match. Thank you. Appreciate that, Freddie. I love being Rick. Don't worry about it. I love being Rick.
We said he's the best match based on your philosophy of the number 2 wide receiver.
Hey, look,
not the number 1. We didn't agree to that.
I love being Rick. We definitely agree. We definitely agree. Next topic. I agree. Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate you. That's why we got you here, brother. Next topic.
Hey, look. That is why Freddie gets paid the big bucks. He's been with the ESPN over 20 years. You can catch him and his co-host Harry Douglas on ESPN Radio from 3 o'clock Eastern Time to 7 p.m. Sirius XM Channel 80. Freddie, we appreciate you taking the time to come on a Rewind. Hope to see you back soon, man. Be well, be safe, be blessed, and take care.
Freddie,
hey,
Harry, that.
I can't wait to tell him that tomorrow. I can't wait to tell him that tomorrow, man. I hope that boy Bat is taking over. He is committed for that. It is a blessing to be with him each and every day. And it was a blessing having with you guys, man. I can't wait to do it again soon, okay?
Freddie, I want to say this. I love you on I love you on Unsportsmanlike when you sub in, bro. I love you,
Thank
dude.
you, man.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time you plug in for Unsportsmanlike, I watch you every morning, man. And my fiance loves you too. She was like, if you look at, she was like, hey, you change your goatee too. Like you had a little goatee and you changed it to the beard. She was like, and I showed her. She was like, oh, like you changed it. I'm like, yeah, like you don't have the goatee anymore. We love you in the morning, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Much love back, gentlemen. Thank you for the kind words, and man, and also the listeners as well. So let's do this again sooner than soon, okay?
Let's do it.
Appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Great Freddie Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. How could you not? How do we do this stuff? How do we get these people? Is it like we're just blessed? We are blessed. But now I'm down to these two Mama Lukes. It'll be a great rest of the show. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Global Sports Entertainment 3. We are over 100 subscribers, so we definitely appreciate all the love, as well as follow us on social media on IG at Global Sports Entertainment 3. Moving on, gents. Man, this has been a great show so far, but we got a lot more to talk about here, and I got a lot of more ass whoopings to give out because I'm just getting started. I'm pissed off, and a pissed off Monty is not good for anybody. Remember I said that. Special shout out. I want to give a special shout out to the Eagles assistant sports performance coach, Coach Lockwood. Coach Lockwood has become the first black female first black coach, to ever win a Super Bowl in Super Bowl history. It is Black History Month, so that makes it even more better, double whammy, even though Black History Month is every month throughout the 12 months in a year. But just want to give Coach Lockwood her flowers. She does a fantastic job in the sports performance side of things with the players and the athletes in the offseason in terms of training camps, OTAs, during the season, practices, game day. I mean, she's just phenomenal. Want to give her flowers right here. Thank you for all your work that you do. Hopefully this can open doors for many other black coaches, women coaches to come in and kind of lay their mark in the game. But Bryant, you know just as much as anybody how important women in sports are, as well as women in coaching is. What does this do with Coach Lockwood, of course, winning the first Super Bowl ever in women's history? What does this do for women's sports, not also in the NFL, but also sports around the world?
I think it kind of increases the magnitude of a lot of women want to understand how to play the game of football. You have all these other leagues that are out there now, that women's leagues in football. And I'm going to say this, man. I've watched quite a few games of women football, and I've seen some tackle, and some of them hit harder than the men. I just couldn't believe it. And they were allowing him to hit certain ways. And I'm just like, I want to bring that back into the NFL. It was amazing. My hat goes off to the women's league that basically want to play this game. They want to know more and more about it. I'm impressed from the years that when I played back in the 80s and the 90s, that we have evolved and come to this to this realm of women playing actual football with equipment on. It's amazing. They play indoors, they play outdoors. They basically do it all now. So now there's no excuses. They can come out and learn the game. They can sit with the fellas. They can smoke a cigar like you guys do. I don't smoke. That's cool. There's a lot of great things that's happening with women's sports, with basketball, softball, what they call it. And I look forward to it because I'm a big supporter of it. I'm a big supporter of Dawn Staley over in South Carolina. She's a Philly native. She's been over there with Temple. And I smile big time when I see things like this. And my daughter's involved with sports as well, even though now she says she doesn't like it. But at the end of the day, she will sit and watch it. She understands the game. So that's all I ask for. And it's bringing the more interest with women's paying attention to football.
Abraham, what's your take on it? Because we know we've seen many greats like Becky Hammond and her rise to obviously being the head coach of the Aces, but being assistant with Coach Pop and Coach Pop giving her the game. No better mentor to have. But when we see things like this with Coach Lockwood, of course, she's not a defensive coordinator or not an offensive special teams or assistant head coach. She plays a role in the organization. That matters. Roles matter, regardless, rather you're the GM or rather you're the water boy in the sidelines or even the ball boy. These things matter, in my opinion. So for Coach Lockwood, how happy are you for her? 1 and 2. Do you see more women in sports, especially in the NFL, black, to come in the future?
1,000%. And I'm gonna whisper this: Becky Hammond's been my biggest crush ever. So my wife is in the next room, so I can't. About to get me in trouble, bro. I gotta whisper that. But so Becky Hammond, yes. So my biggest crush, bro. So if you see something come over in the side of the head, dude, like just take out the camera. But all seriousness, I think it's awesome, man. Like not even to her being black, and I don't want to include race, but just her being a female to be able to win, win a Super Bowl, and she's able to accomplish that feat. That's huge, man. Like, I mean, I know that it's been really, really tough for like certain situations where women gets into the fact that like, not women, females, that they feel as if they can't accomplish certain things just because they're females. But for her to be a coach and she can win that's huge, man. I can't. I got to tip my hat to her, dude. Like I can't. I really can't. Like I don't even. I have 0 words for it, man. Like I'm really. I'm mind blown by it, to be honest with you, Monty. Like I can't. I get it. It's
an important topic. It's very sensitive. Yeah. We want to give Coach Lockwood her flowers here on the Rewind, but there's something else that I want to talk about because I kind of feel like we need to put this conversation to bed, and that's the GOAT conversation. We know prior to coming in to this Super Bowl, all the hype with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady and the comparisons, and we get it. Patrick Mahomes had a lot of success through his first 8-9 years in the league. They want to compare it to Tom Brady's Super Bowls and all this stuff. I felt as though even if he would have won this Super Bowl, it's still not enough to put him as the GOAT in terms of conversations as far as being number one. Now, he does overachieve. I don't even think he even can put him in the conversation to be over Joe Montana yet. However, when we talk about this game, yes, the Eagles, they dominated they dominated Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But, when we talk about number one defenses, right? Tom Brady in 2014 against the Legion of Boom, the same defense that went into MetLife and shut out Peyton Manning and sent him back home crying. It's just one of those things where I am tired of hearing it because you put Tom Brady in this game. You could put 5 guys in a wide receiver that have no name, Tom Brady, to make it happen. And even in his Super Bowl losses, yes, the 2 losses against the Giants, over exceeding expectations in terms of offensive flashy numbers. He didn't have it because the Giants defense was pretty much that good. And then fast forward to the Rams, yes, the final score was only 13-9 or whatever the case may be. But my point is this. The head-to-head comparisons, I'm okay with that for the sake of conversation in terms of the GOAT. But for me, it's Tom Brady. It's no other debate. There's not even a conversation to have. I mean, yes, Patrick Mahomes has lost to Tom Brady twice. Tom Brady was on 2 different teams, but to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Because when we talk about when Patrick Mahomes was in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, if Patrick Mahomes beats Tom Brady in Tampa, then this is a whole different conversation, right? Let's just call it for what it is. But Tom Brady has beat Patrick Mahomes when it mattered most. Yes, Tom Brady's had the better defense with Tampa Bay because, as we saw with Philly, they took the same game plan, rushed 4, dropped 7. But, Bryant, for the sake of this conversation, is it safe to put this to bed in terms of Patrick Mahomes being better than Tom, Patrick, Brady, Edward Brady?
All right. Coach Garb, before you answer, realize what jersey he has on. FYI.
Right, and I get that, and I see what Monty is doing. But I'm just going to put it out there in truth. It's still early yet. You know, you got a bunch of good quarterbacks that's out there. Mahomes is good.
Go ahead.
He's not is nowhere near GOAT topic right now. Brady is that guy, and the reason why I say that, and I'm not a Brady fan, even though he's from Go Blue, but I'm not a Brady fan in the NFL because he played for the Patriots, and I can't stand him. But the fact that you cannot negate his eye test. It's just unbelievable. That he had a minimum amount of talent around him certain years, and he still made it happen. My hat goes off to him. It's just what it is. He has accomplished those things. Mahomes had great talent. He didn't have that much talent on this particular Super Bowl, not much, and he didn't pull through. The system failed him. Andy Reid failed him. So yet they're going to regroup.
Here's my question: Is it Patrick Mahomes to blame for the Super Bowl loss, or is it Andy Reid?
It's Andy Reid, without any question. Andy Reid didn't put him in the right position in order for them to win the game. It was just a poor game plan on the offensive end. It's just what it is. I love Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes. I love freaking Tom Brady sometimes when he played for Michigan, but not for the Patriots. I can't stand Eli Manning. I think that he's one of those guys that's always like a quarterback that need talent around him, but he can't produce when talent is gone. So
future Hall of Famer Eli.
Yeah.
Oh, future
Hall of Fame that only won 2 Super Bowls, just like
future Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Just only won 2 Super Bowls. He didn't even get in this year. They didn't consider him, and everybody's pissed. I understand why he didn't get in this year. I understand it.
I don't think he deserved it, period. Like that's another topic.
Yeah, I don't think he deserved it because the athletes around him deserve it before he does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 1,000%. That's why they let Sterling Sharp in. Finally,
right. And it's just so when you talk about Hurts won 2 Super Bowls. So did Eli.
So
here's is Hurts a Hall of Famer? Because he won 2 Super Bowls?
Not yet. He can be.
He can be.
Say this.
They all have the potential.
Yeah.
I'll say this, right? We've seen Tom Brady at his worst. We've seen that it took him over 8 years to get back to that standard of winning Super Bowls. We've seen Tom Brady struggle. Tore his ACL in 2008, week 1. We've seen the downfall. Have we seen the downfall of Patrick Mahomes yet? Have we seen Patrick Mahomes with a bad team? Have we seen him with one of the worst teams in the NFL or one of the worst offenses in the NFL? No, we haven't. So, yes, he's had success through his first 8-9 years. Let's not forget he was a backup for his first year behind Alex Smith before he took over the starting job. But all this stuff, we've already seen. Brady's had 3 careers throughout his NFL over the 20 years, and he's won in each era of the game. Right. And the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs didn't have what it took to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, 1, 2, they didn't come out in the second half with any different adjustments than what they did in the first half. Because as Brian said, and me and him watched the Super Bowl together, one of the things that I said to him was, I'm curious to see how the Chiefs come out and respond in the third quarter, because we do know in the third quarter, Kansas City is one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and they could turn it up just like that. I see you making these funny faces. Abraham, what's going on, homie? What's going on?
No. I just think they broke character. To completely honest, I think they broke character because they didn't run the ball. And that's when it came to halftime, they did not run the ball. They became one dimensional. They put the ball.
Running backs.
Yeah, they became
running backs.
I'm not lying. Look, I'm not going to argue with you about the Chiefs. I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm a Cowboys fan. So if you don't argue about that, I'm on suicide watch. So you ain't got to tell me about that. You know what I mean? I'm on suicide watch. So but yeah, they became one dimensional, and that's the problem. They did not run the ball. If you're not gonna I get it. I think that they put the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands, and they felt as if that he was going to lead them to the promised land, and he was going to make it work, no matter what it is. I think that they what my take on it is, like, I believe that he was going to make they Coach Garvin, tell me, I don't know too much about football, and you tell me if I'm wrong. I think they when he got to the line, they believe he was going to make the adjustments. They put the ball in his hands to make the adjustments on what he saw.
Abraham, I'm going to ask you a question. Is it time to put this GOAT conversation to bed? Yes or no?
Just not right now. You can't. It's just still too early. Give it a couple more years.
It's too early. It's too
now. For right now, is it time? I'm asking.
I'm gonna say no, because you have that jersey on. But if you didn't have that jersey, I would say yes. I'm gonna leave it there.
Until it isn't.
Yeah.
This conversation won't go to bed anytime soon. But I'm saying for right now, the Brady slander, the Brady disrespect. I respect Patrick Mahomes' greatness. He has that it factor. He has that DNA in his blood. He is a baby Brady of the league. We all know that. We know what he can do with the football. But I'm just saying, this is a critical offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe in their front office. They built the powerhouse over the last 8-9 years. They've had a ton of success, both regular season and postseason. They got some Super Bowls out of it. But this offseason right here, in my opinion, is one of the biggest offseasons that the Chiefs have yet. That's best to come, because Travis Kelce's not the same Travis Kelce. I mean, the defense is atrocious. They like, as Brian said, if the Texans were even healthy, and I know I'm going off script here, but with Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs and that offense with C.J. Stroud, the Texans probably win that game in Arrowhead. Let's just call it for what it is. With Joe Mixon, what he did on that game right there, you could make the argument, say, with a healthy Houston Texans offense against that Kansas City defense, because the next week, they gave up 29 points to the Buffalo Bills. And the Buffalo Bills don't even have a wide receiver one. So there's a lot of things that's on question marks going into this offseason. But moving on. I love you, but we're moving on. Saquon Barkley. What an investment has been for Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, and this payoff. This shame on the New York Football Giants. Well, I'll be damned. Man. Saquon Barkley has signed early, coming on a 3-year deal, $37.7 million deal. This past season for the Eagles, he's rushed for over 2,000 yards, 13 touchdowns. He did break Terrell Davis' all-time rushing record, both regular season and postseason, which I said last week that he would. Coming into the game, you only need 30. It was his birthday on Super Bowl Sunday. Karma was on his side. The last running back that broke the record was 1998 Terrell Davis, which would happen. A Super Bowl win. So these are all the things that went into effect. The success of how this offensive line has been 14-3 this past season. Man, what can we say about Saquon? His talent speaks for itself. That's what goes to show when you put a healthy offensive line in front of him. Good things that happen. Now, of course, the Chiefs did what they were supposed to do on Sunday, and that was stop him. But they had no answer for everybody else. However, so Bryant, with this offensive line, with Saquon Barkley, with this team, they have all the recipes they need to make another run in the NFC, if not in the NFC East, especially the NFC in the playoffs. How dominant do you think the Philadelphia Eagles can be next season?
I think they're definitely going to be a playoff team. But the other teams are getting better. They're going to figure out now. They're going to see, hey, we can actually stop Saquon because he doesn't have that second, third movement laterally. He just can't. He's a vertical guy. It's just what it is. So I saw Temple stop him, and they did exactly just that. They stopped him. They held the man at 31 yards at a half of a Super Bowl game. So at the end of the day, other teams are going to get better defensively. Is every team in NFL going to do it? Absolutely not. No. They're going to come up with different stuff so he can get off and run for 150, 100, 192 something games. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty and when it's playoff time, yeah, he's going to have his struggles. And of course, with that football team, if they stay healthy, they're going to make another run. But get to the Super Bowl is going to be questionable. It depends on what goes on in off-season trades, money deals, who's going to take a bag here and there, and we'll see what happens. But I look forward to Saquon Sanders and the rest of these other quarterbacks coming out here, and these defensive backs, the other receivers, and it's just a lot of great athletes that coming out of college this year. So I'm gonna be sitting there watching the draft and see who's going to get what. I'm very interested to see the Bears and what they do because there's a whole new regime there. And hey, It's just what it is. Don't laugh. Don't laugh at my damn bear.
Ben Johnson. I've said that. I am all for Ben Johnson and this Chicago Bears team.
Don't laugh at my Bears. They beat Green Bay the last game of the season.
I'm not gonna do this.
And you have a Dallas guy here laughing. Of all teams, you're loaded and you couldn't win. You were loaded and you couldn't win. Loaded and couldn't win. Dak cannot see past his freaking helmet.
I'm waiting for Jerry Jones to die. That's all I'm waiting for. When Jerry Jones died, then I'll be happy, man. Like, and I don't wish Jones upon nobody.
Jerry Jones might as well go on the field and pretend that he's freaking Steve Landry. They just put on the big ass hat. The big ass hat and sit there and be like this and pretend like he got Drew Pearson out there again.
Again, I'm waiting for Jerry Jones to die for us to get past that point.
Jerry Jones is absolutely disgusting and trash. It's just
you're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir, brother.
Dallas, Abraham is a miserable, dysfunctional, suicide watch Dallas Cowboy fan. I'll say it again.
I play in traffic.
Dysfunctional Cowboys fan. Abraham, you have to see this Philadelphia Eagles team twice a year. You have to see this Washington Commanders team twice a year. Those teams are only going to improve, especially the Washington Commanders. Watch out, especially the season that they had with Jayden Daniels. I'm not really sure about the Giants. You know, they're still in the figure it out kind of phase. We'll see if they draft Cam or if they go ahead and draft Shador. If I was them, I'd go ahead and draft Cam. He's a better quarterback. He's got the arm. He's got a quick release. However, with this Philadelphia Eagles team, that is still, a lot of those guys are still in the contract. I don't really see anybody moving or leaving besides the loss of Kellen Moore, who just took the job to be the head coach of New Orleans Saints. How scared are you of this Eagles team next year? Because you got to see them twice a year as always. And in my opinion, depending on what Dallas does in the offseason, which will probably be nothing because Jerry Jones running the team, you'll probably lose twice again to Philly. Or you probably lose twice to Washington. That's 4 losses right there. I hadn't even looked at the schedule. But for this Philadelphia Eagles team, Aaron, what you've seen, how worried are you about the Eagles and the Commanders going into next year?
I'm not worried. We're going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not worried. We're going to the Super Bowl. That's what we do. That's what we said. We're going to the Super Bowl. You can ask any Dallas Cowboy fan, they tell you we're going to the Super Bowl, brother. So that's my level of concern. If you asking from 1 to 10, no, zero concern. No. He's the best coach that we hired. I mean, he's better than Ben Johnson. He's the best coach since sliced bread. He was Jimmy Johnson, and Jimmy Johnson. It's basically like if Jimmy Johnson and Laundry made a baby. He came out. Brian came out. That's what it is. Like that. He's the baby, and he's the one that's gonna take us home. He's gonna be like, you know what? This is what it is, and we're gonna, and then, this is Dak's gonna say, once we win the Super Bowl, they're like, hey, Dak, what are you doing next? We're going to Disneyland. That's what it is. So
you joking, right?
My take. Monty. No. I'm speaking real. That's all I got to say. Appreciate you guys.
When was the last time Dallas won a Super Bowl?
I wasn't born yet.
Look. That's your problem. That's not our fault. That was not for you.
What year did Dallas? The last year that they won a Super Bowl?
Look, we're not here. Last year, Chicago won the Super Bowl.
I wasn't born yet.
We went to the Super Bowl in 2005, 2006.
No, I said when last time you won. Last time we won.
When you won.
That's I didn't know. I didn't know we give out participation trophies. I didn't know that we was giving out second place trophies. I mean,
guess what? We was doing that. 30 plus years. You guys haven't even smelled the grass at the Super Bowl. So I don't even want to hear it.
29. It was 29. It was 29.
You're coming up on 30.
When was the last time you helped? I didn't know we were just giving out second place trophies. That's what we're doing now. I'm just saying.
Hey, you want the Cowboys are not in second, third, fourth, or fifth.
When's the last time you was it like? Would you know what? You're old as grass. You know what? You smelt the grass. As old as you are, you know what? You was born in '85 when y'all won it. You know what? You was there.
I was young enough to watch that '85 Bears team. I sat there and I watched everything.
You were still the same age. You like Morgan Freeman. What are you talking about? You same picture. What are you talking? You look the same.
Hell with that.
Lean on me, bro. You like 15, lean on me.
Baby.
Like, you same picture.
All right.
15.
All right. Morgan Freeman.
2 words. Jalen Hurts. Now, I think it's time for Brian to put some respect on his name. And this is where we're going next. Jalen Hurts in his career, two Super Bowl appearances, got his first one on Sunday. I mean, Super Bowl MVP, you name it, he's done it. He played his best game in the Super Bowl, as I said he would, because throughout the playoffs, what did he do? He was a game manager, protect the football, took care of it, didn't turn the ball over. Defense did what they were supposed to do. Offensively, that offensive line did what they were supposed to do to open up the hole for Saquon to break out for big runs. Man, best game he's had, 726 yards in the playoffs, 10 total touchdowns, 5 throwing, 5 on the ground through the playoffs and through 1 interception. It's time for Brian to put Jalen Hurts in a category with some respect, because Bryant, before coming to this game last week, if you remember, Brian said that Jalen Hurts was what? Overrated. Jalen Hurts is doing something that Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Jaden Daniels aren't doing. That's winning Super Bowls. He's done that. Bryant, do you still feel the same way with your comments on what you said with Jalen Hurts and his performance in Super Bowl 59 on Sunday? Is Jalen Hurts, in your opinion, still overrated? And if so, please explain to America.
All right. Is he overrated?
I want you to apologize. That's what I want.
Hold on.
I want you to apologize.
Can I finish my sentence, please?
I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to mute it.
I'm going to say this, right? I'm going to give Jalen Hurts his 1 flower, but I'm going to give his offensive line the 12 flowers, because that offensive line is a beast.
I agree.
Those guys showed up and showed out. If he doesn't have that offensive line, I don't know, but I gave him his 1 flower. He did well on Super Bowls. He did well. He did very well. Am I going to say, is he overrated? I still don't know yet. I still don't know yet. You
said last week he was. Now you don't know?
No, I don't know. He improved. I don't know. I just don't know. Let's see what he does next year.
Now it's the next year thing.
Let's see.
You gotta be kidding me.
Let's see. Jalen, he performed, but he performed under no pressure. Hell, you can sit back there. Can sit back there in that pocket and throw freaking 3 touchdowns.
No, First off, Jalen Hurts was sacked 2 times this game. Pressure. He had
2 times in the whole game.
He had pressure coming in. He had a rematch against Patrick Mahomes, the same team that beat him 2 years ago in Super Bowl 57, which in reality, you could make the argument that they should have won that one if he didn't throw that late turnover in that Super Bowl. Then you sit here and say that what he did on Sunday wasn't good enough to get
I didn't say that. I didn't say it wasn't good enough. I said he played better.
Gave him 1 flower, right? You
1 flower.
Well,
1 flower.
If he didn't have his offensive line, he wouldn't be this Y and Z. If Eli Manning would have got sacked, the Patriots are 18-0 in 2007, undefeated season since the 72 Dolphins. I mean, we can go on about the what ifs. All right, so let's just give the man his credit. I gave him his credit. I gave him his 1 flower. You cannot. No.
I gave him his 1 flower.
You can't do that, bro. You can't say like I love you, but
yeah, you can't. You can't.
You can't.
All right. Watch this. Hold on. So for example, with Jalen, right? You take all those receivers off of the Eagles. Oh, watch it. No, watch. I'm giving.
If it was the 5th one, I'll be drunk.
Right. Look, I won't talk about the ifs or nothing because it can happen. So you take those 3 receivers off and give him some bums. Will he produce just like your boy Brady?
How many?
Answer the question.
Actually,
answer the question.
Oh, that's not. I'm not a Brady. I'm
talking to Monty.
I got a Brady jersey. Okay,
I'm talking to Monty. Will he produce like Brady?
No, because only one man can do it, and that's Tom fucking Brady.
Exactly.
This is what I'm saying. I gave him his one flower. He has some nice weapons around him. Abraham, he couldn't do it without Saquon. He said it himself. He said, this happened because of Saquon.
You would say the same thing.
Of course. That's why I say I give him his one flower.
No, you got to get more than one. You got to get more than one.
Give him one flower.
So
that's it. One?
One. I give him his one flower.
I ain't going with that. Nah. I'm a Cowboys fan. I can't give him one flower. I got to give him a dozen. I got to give him a dozen.
I'm not giving him a dozen flowers. I'm going to get that offensive line a dozen flowers.
What does it take for Bryant Garvin to give Jalen Hurts his flowers? Because last time I checked, since week 5 of this year, the man has thrown 33 touchdowns and only turned the ball over 5 times.
Are you a football coach or a basketball coach? I'm confused.
I'm both. I'm going to give him his one flower.
It sounds like you're a basketball coach right now. Like, you know what? Can you put that basketball? Like, do I get? You know what? Give me 3 seconds. I'll pull up the clippings. Hold on. I'll pull up the basketball coach of Coach Garv. It's like he sounds like the basketball coach of Coach Garv rather than the football coach of Coach Garv.
Hey, look, my standards are high. I tell you what, I'm gonna give him this though. I'm going to give him this. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed for him to be able to win the Super Bowl, and I'm also impressed for him to win a college national champ. That's impressive for me to be able to do that. I give him that, but I still only give him his one flower. Do it again next year, and I give you 12.
This is the same.
You know how hard it is to repeat. You know how hard it is to get into the playoffs.
Abraham, this is the same man that went to the national championship with Alabama and got benched by Tua. This is the same man that had to leave and transfer to Oklahoma to win a Heisman under Lincoln Riley. This is the same man who has had more success than both of your organizations combined in the last 5 years. And that's including making the playoffs. That's including winning a playoff game. This is the same man that took his team once, not twice, to the Super Bowl against the hardest team to beat, the standard of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs, and beat them in the Super Bowl. And he's won Super Bowl MVP. So for you to see here and say only one flower, man,
that's it.
Wrong.
I'm giving that offensive line all the flowers that they can deserve. That offensive line don't get any credit. That's a bunch of bullshit.
This is the same man drinking coconut water too.
That offensive line gets no credit. Nobody knows their name. They are remarkable. That offensive line. Let me tell you how tough this is. With those guys that get injured, become injured, to move from left tackle to center and move all over the place and still be efficient. That offensive line
matters. Yes,
there's no question.
Yes.
That doesn't count to the fact that he still has to make the plays.
No, they are the main focal point of them winning the Super Bowl. I don't care what anybody says.
He still has to make the plays, though. It doesn't matter. You trying to tell me that Danny Jones can make them plays?
Okay. So hold on.
So his backup could have made it. So you trying to tell me that Kenny Pickett could have made the same plays that he did, even with that offensive line? So you trying to tell me Kenny Pickett could have did that? And Kenny Pickett was a starter.
Hell no.
So that's what you're telling me, Coach Garv? Even with that offensive line, you're trying to tell me that Kenny Pickett could have actually did what he was doing while he was making the plays. And honestly, I don't think his stats were astounding. Like, he had 221, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Best game he played.
And you're trying to tell me that Kenny Pickett could actually did what he did. Don't get me wrong. The defense actually stepped up and they actually played what they did.
Defensively, they were phenomenal. Defensively, they're phenomenal.
So you trying to tell me Kenny Pickett could actually did? So you trying to tell me Kenny Pickett could have did that?
I don't think he would have played it. I don't think he would have played it as well.
Right.
No.
Right.
I don't think.
Do you think they'll still win a game?
Yes.
Well, Kenny Pickett?
Hell no. So
you need to lower the dosage, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You need to lower the dosage.
Do I think they win the game? Yeah, they still win the game. They win the game defensively.
If you put Caleb Williams behind his offensive line, do the Eagles still win?
Absolutely.
They might as well put me behind the line. If it's like that,
that's how much respect I give that offensive line.
I hold the ball that long. Shit, like I could throw this shit 15 yards. Shit, word up, bro. Like you might as well put me behind there.
So you can go back there and freaking. They had all day to throw the damn ball. You kidding me?
Right. If you go back and watch that game, right?
Cocaine's a hell of a drug, brother.
And I'll take a play in particular. When they blitzed Jalen Hurts on that second down, and he threw that deep bomb to Devontae Adams.
He had all day.
No, he didn't. He got hit as soon as he threw the ball. He got hit.
Dude, they were in a pistol. On play action, and he sit there and he's still in the pocket. It's the same play. It's the same play. I know this play. It's the same freaking play. I got it already on Instagram. Same freaking play.
When we see the pocket collapse and Jalen Hurts has to scramble to the right and throw on a run, is that how great his offensive line is, or that's Jalen Hurts making a play?
That's Jalen Hurts making a play on that particular play with his legs. That's no question.
Jalen Hurts was dropping back in shotgun all game with all day.
I think
he got sacked twice the whole game.
Stop watching basketball, coach.
Stop it. Stop.
You know what? Take that Randy Floyd jersey back there.
You're not giving respect to the offensive line, and that's disgusting.
All I'm saying is put respect on Jalen Hurts' name.
You didn't even chip nobody when you played in Temple.
Offensive line first.
You didn't even chip nobody when you played offense. You didn't do no blocking on offense.
Offensive line deserve their flowers. Yes, Jalen Hurts played phenomenal. He did what he was supposed to do.
When you a tight end coach in Temple?
MVP, Super Bowl MVP. We got to go.
What you did in Temple? You was a coach? You was a tight end coach?
Yeah.
Hey, you ain't do no chipping. I can tell. That's why you love your offensive line, because you did no chipping. Like you just went out for routes and you just try to catch the ball. I can tell. I see you right there, because that's why you love your offensive line. I can tell. You did no chipping.
Fun fact, you guys know I love fun facts. Hey, Chris, can you play that? Please play that clip for us, please, because Brian's pissing me off.
Definitely.
Smith has lost in the Caesars Superdome in 2016. He lost his senior year, his state championship game, and the Caesars Dome in 2016. 8 years later, he's now a Super Bowl champion in the same stadium. Devontae Smith, one of the best receivers in Philadelphia Eagles, as well as at Alabama. He doesn't have the size. He doesn't have the strength. He doesn't have the crazy athleticism, but he's a great route runner, and he knows how to get the ball when it matters most, because if you check back out on that deep ball that Jalen Hurts threw as he was about to get hit, a dump over the top. This play here. Look at this. Oh, that's not it. That's the Douglas. That's the wrong one. Chris, play the one with the Devontae Adams touchdown. Not the tush push dush. Not the Philly love. No, not that. Oh, that back shoulder was nice. Look at this. Oh, that's the AJ Brown touchdown. Okay. This one right here. Look at the play. Sit in the house. Step up. Oh, he's going. Oh no, that's not it. He's running, scrambling. First down. He's at the 40 down.
Hey, Chris, can you do me a favor as well? Can you give us a trivia question real quick before we leave? Give us a trivia question, see if we get it right.
Hold on. The pocket collapse, Bryant, with offensive line at.
Who was that? That's crazy.
Play action.
Wait.
Hey.
Where did he get hit? Where did he get hit? He didn't get hit anywhere.
The ref hit him. What are you talking about? The ref hit him.
He got hit.
Chris, can you give us a real quick? Just give me like 3 minutes. I want Chris to get a trivia question for us, and then NFL trivia question.
He can't. We don't have the. We can't. This isn't no. You can ask a question. Go ahead. You can ask it.
Oh no, I just want a trivia question. All right. So you know what? I ask a question. It's only been one time in NFL history with the number one pick was offensive Rookie of the Year, and the second pick was Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who was the two players?
Can we get a ABCD?
No.
Jeopardy?
No. One time in history,
number one draft pick.
The number one draft pick was the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and the second pick was the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Who was it?
We should include trivia more often in the show. This is good.
That's what I said. Like that's why I love it. That's why I told Chris to pull up. I want the football coach to give it to me.
Football coach. Let me tell you, the football coach don't know that one. That's a toughie. I'll be honest. You know, that one is tough to me, and it's a tough question. I couldn't answer that one. I definitely couldn't answer that one. You know, if I answer that one, then I need to get back into college coaching or high school coaching, whatever it may be. But I can't answer that question. I'm sorry.
What about you, Monty? Go ahead.
I gotta ask my sports information director. I can call him. He can pick that up like real quick.
So Cam Newton was the first Offensive Rookie of the Year. It was picked number 1, and Von Miller was number 2, and they was the both draft Offensive and Defensive Rookie of the Years.
That was a nice one. That was nice.
Hey, so Cam Newton was number 1. He was Offensive Rookie of the Year, and Von Miller was picked number 2, and he was Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I forgot all about Von Miller. Von Miller was tough.
Oh, yeah, of course. Exactly. So that was, there you go.
Yeah, that was nice. Well, man, I want to give a special shout out to our guest that joined us today, Mr. Freddie Coleman, the great Freddie Coleman from ESPN. I want to thank my main man, my brother, Jersey's own, Florida's own, Orlando's finest, Abraham, a.k.a. what I know him as Macho, RBC's legend. I want to give a special shout out to Chris in 1990 Studios. Thank you for all the hard work you guys do each and every week. I appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Global Sports Entertainment 3. We are over 100 subscribers. We're trying to trend upwards. We know all the help and love and support we can get. Thank you for the help we got so far, but continue to like and subscribe. Tell a family member, tell a brother, tell a sister, share on social media. We love it. Follow us on Instagram at Global Sports Entertainment 3, as well as Bryant's Instagram at Bryant Garvin 81, myself at Monty Moss 3. Thank you to our guests. We love you guys. Couldn't do it without you guys. Brian, any final words before we sign off episode 5 of The Rewind?
Oh, I just want to give a nice little shout out to our guy, Hakeem Romance. If you want to go onto Apple Music, look up his music, Hakeem Romance. And I see Abraham here with an East Side 11 shirt. That he couldn't. That jersey a little bit too small for him right now. But at the end of the day, Hakeem Romance. You can look up his stuff on Apple Music and check out. You know, he's done a great job for us. So big ups to Hakeem Romance.
To Abraham, any final words before we sign off, brother?
No, brother, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. It was good to meet Freddie for the first time. It was a great time. Coach Garv, it's been a while.
Yes, sir.
I'm great. It was a good time to see you again, and I'm glad I kicked your ass on this podcast today. So, it was a good time. And Monty, always a pleasure, brother. It's always a good time, man.
My man. To Freddie Coleman, to Abraham, to Bryant, I'm Monty signing off for The Rewind. You can catch this coming out tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time on all platforms, wherever you can get YouTube Live, as well as anywhere you get your audio podcast, as well as Apple at Global Sports Entertainment 3, to 1990 Studios, to Chris. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for what you do. I'm Monty, episode 5 in the books. This is The Rewind. Catch you guys next week. We got some really good special guests coming by for a conversation. Look forward to it. Appreciate you guys. Peace and love, and we'll see you next week.
Let's go!
I was checking out the scout report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me.